Hello, I'm Mrs. Jansen. Let's draw a toucan together. First, let's start with vocabulary. Observation means to look at something or someone carefully to gain information. It's thinking while seeing. Composition is the arrangement or placement of art elements, such as lines, shapes, and colors in a work of art. Our art is influenced by two artists today. First, Henry Rousseau. He's a historic artist who lived in the past from 1844 to 1910. He was from France and was self-taught. His work has influenced many artists, including Pablo Picasso. He is best known for paintings of tropical rainforest and jungle scenes. Here's an interesting fact. He never went to a rainforest or jungle. He used careful observation. He visited botanical gardens in Paris and looked at photographs in books. American John James Audubon, who also lived in the past from 1785 to 1851, was an ornithologist, a scientist who studies birds, and an artist. He created detailed drawings and paintings of birds in their habitats. He created one of the greatest bird books of all time, The Birds of America. So here you see several of his paintings, and I'm sure you've already recognized birds you're familiar with from our area: the hummingbird, the quail, the pelican, the finch, and the cardinal. Here's some interesting facts about toucans. There are over 40 different types, and they vary in size from 7 inches to 2 feet. The toco is the largest of them all. They live in the tropical rainforests of South America, and they can't fly very far. They use their wings to glide short distances, and they often hop from tree to tree. Toucan Sam is the mascot for Kellogg's Fruit Loop cereal, and some people call this toucan the Fruit Loop bird. Now let's carefully observe the keel-billed toucan, which is also known as the rainbow-billed, and the toco toucan, which is also known as the giant. I'd like you to notice the difference in the color of the eye and then the shape around the eye. Notice the rainbow-billed has a more circular shape, and notice the toucan has a more triangular shape around the eye. Now I'd like you to notice the different colors you see on the beak as well as the body. Now I'd like you to choose which one you'd like to draw in your artwork. We're going to follow guided drawing to draw a toucan, and then you're going to be adding details to your toucan as you decide which one you'd like to draw. You're also going to decide on the composition, the arrangement of your choice of treetops, plants, and flowers around the toucan in your artwork. So now let's get started. Please have your paper, pencil, and crayons ready. You'll see the screen change so we can draw together. So please place your paper, landscape, which is horizontal. And the first thing I'd like you to do is place your hand at the bottom of the paper. And I'd like you to know that your toucan should be about the size of your hand, or a little smaller, but no larger than your hand. So let's go to the middle of the paper and add a circle for the eye of the toucan. And let's add a small oval inside, and that will be the highlight. Let's shade the circle in with our pencil. And remember, you'll be adding color to this later. But right now we're just shading it in. Now I'd like you to go above the eye and add a curve like a rainbow. And now let's go to the beginning of that curve and let's add what looks like a stretched out S. And now at the bottom of the S, let's add a straight vertical line. Let's bring this curved line down to about the same point on the right and connect these two with a curved line like a smile. Now let's go above the head and add a second curved line that goes up and then down and stops at about the same point. Now let's add a curved line that goes out and then another curved line that meets it for the beak. Let's go on top of that first curved line for the beak and add another one on top. And then let's add another curved line in the center. Now let's go to this side and add a curved line that goes out. And then another curved line that goes in. And now let's add the texture of the wing using scallop lines or curved lines that might remind you of the letter U. Let's use light pressure on the wing because we're going to be arranging plants and you'll probably cover part of the toucan. So you're going to need to erase. Let's add light pressure, vertical and diagonal lines to create the texture of the feathers on the wing. And now let's go to this side, the left, and add a curved line and a second one for the body of the toucan. So now that we've got the toucan drawn, that's all we need to draw. We're going to decide on the composition or the arrangement. And I'll show you just one example so that you can get an idea of how you're going to add the shape around the eye and also the plants. So in this example, I drew the rainbow build. So I added a circular shape around the eye. And then the last thing that you're going to do after you draw the plants is you're going to go back to the slide and then you're going to notice the shapes you see for the different placement of colors depending upon the toucan that you're drawing, and then you'll add those shapes and add color. Now, if you decided that you're drawing the giant toucan, you'll be adding a shape that looks more like a rounded triangular form. So first I'm going to talk to you about composition in the arrangement. So you get to choose any type of plant you'd like. And you'll notice what I did. I chose the same type of plant in the corner. And then this is more of a diagonal arrangement. And the hope is that the eye of the viewer travels around the artwork. Remember what the most important part of the artwork is, the toucan. So there's some really easy ways to draw these plants that look like they're complicated. We're actually going to just draw a large shape and then go back and add triangles and then erase. So I'll show you an easy way to get started. So in the corner, I just added 2 diagonal lines. This is for the center of a leaf. And then I added the curved lines for the side. And then I added sideways triangles. on each side. Next, I used my eraser and I erased the bottom of the triangles. This way it looks like there's notches or open areas in the leaf. And then I decided I wanted to have this same type of plant in the corner. So I added the curve shape of the plant, the center for the texture, and then the sideways triangles on each side. And the way I'm drawing right now, these are just idea starters for you. You don't have to draw the same plants, and you do not have to put them in the same place. All right, next, I drew a large plant in front of the toucan, and I used curved lines to make the first leaf at the top, and then I added curved lines like this. And then I went back to those curved lines and added a curved line at the top and the bottom. And let's talk about a vine. So I just added a wavy line, and then I added another line next to it. And then I added a type of plant that really looks like an upside down heart. And with that vine, you would continue. So I'm just going to show you another example of another plant. So I just decided the large shape first, and then I'd add the line in the center for texture. I'd want it to have a thickness, so I'd add another line next to it, and then I would add shapes that look a lot like a diagonal raindrop. And then remember, while adding leaves, you can start with a curved line and then just add diagonal lines. You can go back and add the thickness to the first curved line you drew, and now you go back and you add the leaves. And you really draw around the diagonal lines that you added. And you keep adding plants. Remember, when you have overlap, you don't draw on top of things. You pick up your pencil when you come to something you've already drawn, so it looks like it's underneath. So see, I'm going to bring that vine underneath that opening in the plant. And later you'll be adding color. You can also add shading with your pencil. So when you look at this example, I want you to know that I sketched first, and all the lines were very light, and then I went back and added heavier pressure. Now I observed the shapes of the color for the rainbow bill, so that's why I had these curved lines, and then I added these small curved lines on the beak, and you'll see that both types have those. So now it's time for you to use your own creativity and ideas and decide how you'd like to arrange the tree tops, the plants, and the flowers in your artwork. And I hope you enjoyed drawing a toucan today. And I look forward to making art with you again soon.